Welcome to StrokeOT. We are a Connecticut nonprofit organization of health professionals and volunteers dedicated to providing long-term support for stroke and brain injury survivors. We offer free online live virtual groups on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and I will be running through our routine from our Tuesday cardiovascular exercise group for stroke survivors. It's 30 minutes. So let's get started with a few stretches. If you can sit up in your chair, ideally a chair without armrest is the best, or sitting on the edge of your bed, someplace obviously that you need to be safe. But we'll be doing these all in a seated position, but you can perform these in a standing position also. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. In through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. I'm going to do a few shoulder circles to warm up. Going backwards, slow shoulder circles. We'll be doing a hamstring stretch, so if you could stretch your legs out in front of you. Okay, legs out in front of you, knees straight. Take a deep breath in through your nose. As you exhale, reach down towards the floor. Keep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, and back up again. Okay, these exercises consist of 60 seconds of marching in place followed by 60 seconds of an exercise. Ideally, you want to push yourself to break a sweat. Breaking a sweat at least one time a day can help reduce your risk of stroke, and obviously it prevents other secondary problems such as falls, etc. So let's get started. I'm going to set my timer and we will start with marching in place for 60 seconds to warm up. Again, you could do this seated or standing. Trying to pick your knees up as high as they can, swing your arms. Keep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, or just breathing. Don't hold your breath. A 10-second countdown to our next exercise. And at this point, we will transition into arm swings. So with arm swings, again in a seated or a standing position, sitting up real tall, trying to swing your arms as if you're power walking. Keep breathing. Ten-second countdown to marching in place. And back to marching in place. We call marching in place a working rest break because the idea of cardiovascular exercise groups through StrokeOT is we're not necessarily looking at form. You don't have to perform the exercises perfectly. It's more about moving and moving fast enough that you are increasing your heart rate to a target level. I will include a link to what your target level may be in the down in the comments. Ten-second countdown. Our next exercise will be trunk rotation. And And trunk rotation involves putting your arms across your chest, sitting up really tall, and rotating side to side as fast as you can, again while you're breathing. The key with this one is to hold your stomach muscles in nice and tight so you don't injure your back. Ten-second countdown to marching in place. And back to marching in place. Working rest break. I will try to talk very little, and I'd encourage you to work hard enough that not only are you breaking a sweat, but you're having trouble saying a sentence because you're working so hard. That's how hard we want to push ourselves for this group. Ten-second countdown. Our next exercise will be rowing a rowboat. So if you could, with clasped hands, you're reaching forward and you're pulling the oars back, just as if you're rowing a rowboat as fast as you can, upstream both ways. Keep breathing. Ten-second countdown to marching in place. And back to marching in place. Keep those knees up, keep those arms going. These exercises may be very difficult to do on your first try. People in our StrokeOT cardiovascular exercise groups on Tuesday, Thursdays, some of them have been in our groups for years. They could teach the class, and some are brand new, and everyone's at a different level. The key is just to not be hard on yourself. Be proud of every little accomplishment, because you'll find that you're making many goals met every day. 10-second countdown to our kayak rowing. Okay, now you have both hands clasped on an imaginary kayak paddle. You're rowing on the right side of the boat and the left side of the boat. Ideally as fast as you can, trying to keep your back straight, trying not to bend over too much, because you don't want to injure your back. Stomach muscles in tight. Ten-second countdown to marching in place. And marching in place. And I've run this group long enough to truly believe you can get just as much of a workout in the chair as you can in standing. Just have to really put some effort into it. Ten-second countdown to our punch kicks. Okay, punch kicks. So with clasped hand, you're punching your hands as you're kicking out your right foot and then your left foot. Ideally, as fast as you can. Less about form, more about just moving quickly, getting your heart rate up. All about endurance. 10-second countdown. And marching in place. Keep that pace up, marching in place. Always good to have a glass of water nearby if you need it. Your telephone close so you can reach it. Keep breathing in through your nose, out to your mouth. Ten-second countdown to seated or standing jump ropes. Okay, in a seated or standing position, you're having an imaginary jump rope handles in your hand. You're swinging the jump rope over your head and lifting your feet, under your feet, over your head, under your feet. When it's imaginary, you can be as good as you want to be. Jump rope Olympians. Keep breathing. Ten-second countdown to marching in place. And marching in place. I'm going to flip my sheet over onto page 2. Ten-second countdown. Our next one will be cross knee crunch. cross knee crunch. So clasped hands or clasped wrist, right elbow to left knee, left elbow to right knee. Again, you're trying to raise your knees up towards your elbows, meeting them halfway rather than bending down. Excellent. 10-second countdown. And back to marching in place. If you need to stop for a quick rest or a quick drink of water, that's fine. We're at the halfway point, 15-minute mark. We're at our 10-second countdown. The next we'll be doing is karate punches. Okay, karate punches can be done two ways. You could either just punch starting with your elbows at your side, punch straight forward, one hand at a time. If you prefer, you can punch with both hands with clasped hands. Okay, 10-second countdown to marching in place. And marching in place. At this point, hopefully you're warming up a little bit. I know I am. When we increase our heart rate with exercise like this, it also sends serotonin to our brain, can help reduce depression, anxiety, and just gives us an all-around good feeling. That's why after we finish exercises always feels good. Sometimes during doesn't as much. Okay, 10-second countdown to the seated jumping jacks or standing jumping jacks, whatever you'd like. Okay, jumping jacks. So you're just raising your arms and your legs out to the side. You could do this in sitting, but obviously you could do it in standing too, if you're able. Again, no worries about your affected arm and affected leg if it doesn't look exactly like the other side. We're more looking at getting your heart rate up than we are looking at form. So just keep moving. Ten-second countdown to marching in place. marching in place. Keep on breathing. Take a drink if you need to. Stop if you need to, but if you can, see if you can get right back to it, unless you're having some symptoms that you need to be concerned about, which would be kind of uncontrolled heart rhythm, incredible sweating, dizziness, feeling like you're going to pass out. Obviously, you want to seek immediate medical attention if this is the issue. Ten-second countdown to the Russian twist. Okay, Russian twist. So with clasped hands, you're touching your right hip and then your left hip. Going as fast as you can, right to left. Trying to keep your stomach muscles nice and taut. It'll save your back. Keep breathing. 10-second countdown to marching in place. Good, and then return to marching in place. Keep that pace up. Keep those knees raising up and keep those elbows moving. Ten-second countdown to our seated leg rows. I'll be moving my chair, but you don't need to for seated leg rows. So a seated leg row technically is you're sitting back in your chair and you're trying to raise your knees up to your chest and then kick your legs out straight. Knees up to your chest, kick your legs out straight. Ideally, you're doing this as fast as you can. But this is probably my least favorite one, but I have to keep it in because sometimes our least favorite exercises are the ones that are making us strongest. As you can see, I have my unaffected foot underneath my affected foot just to help it as it gets tired. You can do that. 10-second countdown. And back to marching in place. Marching in place. Keep that pace up. Every time you feel yourself slowing down, you say, okay, keep going. We're at the 24-minute mark. I can get through to the end. Keep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth if you can. As long as you're not hyperventilating and as long as you're not holding your breath, you breathe whatever way you need to. Sometimes it's hard to think about breathing and exercising at the same time, so no pressure, as long as you're breathing. Good. 10-second countdown. All right. Next one, we call these side lunges because you could do this again in sitting or standing. If you're sitting, you're stepping your right leg out to the side, then the left, and going as fast as you can. And I'm going to show you how to do it in standing in a second. If you're sitting, stay sitting and keep working on this. For standing, what you would do is with a chair in front of you, back straight, you're going to step out to the right and squat, then step out to the left and squat. Right, left. Again, it's okay to remain sitting. And just move your legs out side to side. 10-second countdown. Good. Excellent. And back to marching in place. Second countdown, and then we will be doing forward lunges. But in sitting, we do something called rocket kicks instead. So if you're going to remain seated, you're just going to kick each leg up, trying to kick your legs up as high as you can, like a Broadway rocket. But if you're standing, you're going to place your chair back on your unaffected side. Back straight, step forward onto your right leg and squat down, and then come back, and then your left leg, and then come back. As long as the chair is on your unaffected side, so you have something to hold on to if you need to. Again, if you're seated, you're just working on rocket kicks. Second countdown. Good, and then back to marching in place. I'm going to do this into a seated position. Doing great. Okay, so this is our last 60 seconds of marching in place. We're almost at the 30-second mark, so I really want you to push it. Give it all you got at that last 30 seconds. And go. Push fast as you can, fast as you can. Raise those knees up. Fast as you can. Keep breathing. You are racing to that finish line to meet your goals. And you are proud of yourself, and you are setting daily goals and meeting them. Good. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Whew. Take a deep breath. Have a drink of water if you need it. Nice slow deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. If you want to finish up with a few slow stretches, some shoulder circles. You could do a hip stretch, since we did a lot of marching. Hip stretch with your front leg back, back leg to the front, as you slowly lower your heart rate.